Mwanyagetinge was inaugurated on 18th February 2023. They started their job very well, but along the way, they started having disagreements. The leaders came to us and asked us to mediate between the two of them about the problems that they were going through. We did have a meeting in, I think it was October. The whole board, from the representatives to the vice president and the treasurer, we talked about the issues that were there. Most of the issues were miscommunication. Like who is supposed to follow certain things, people were not doing what they were supposed to do, others were complaining somebody else is doing my job, others were having meetings without inviting others and other things to undermine each other. So we talked and we solved the problem and they continued. Along the way, the problems came up again. We sent them to somebody who could talk to them. And I think Chairman Henry talked to both of them and counseled them, and we thought those problems would go away. On December 31st, 2024, the Vice President, who is here today, 2023, sorry, and I will change that on the report. Unless it's an emergency. Yeah.
I've just said it right now, they're not ready, but it stopped reading. Yeah, it was one reason for me. Exactly.
Okay, so on 31st December 2024, the Vice President sent a message directly to all groups telling them that it's a forged check, money has been withdrawn from the account without authorization. So he reached out to us. We said we would talk to the president, which we did. The president was in Kenya. She said, hold on, I need to have a meeting with you. And we said, we can postpone till you come from Kenya. So we agreed on a date, which was 13th of January. We had the meeting, as I explained before. They didn't show up for a while, but the vice president showed up, the president did not show up. When the chair called her, she did not pick up the phone. When he texted her, she said, I'm not coming. So she didn't show up. So we continued with the meeting with the vice president, the treasurer. We asked them questions. And the questions were about things that we will talk about today. It was about how the money was lost, what happened. It was about the grants you always been talking about. Where was the money? Who was doing what? Who was supplying what was not supplied, and all that kind of stuff. So, the report was done we started on January 14th working on the report, and we finished on February 13th, a few days ago. We sent an online form for you guys to send information that you have and opinions. So, people sent information, others sent things that we could use, others sent things that they have, screenshots, whatever. They wanted us to investigate. Number one, again, to get important, which I want to put across, that in order for this investigation to be successful, there were several considerations to be made. If evidence, it has to match the accusations. You don't just what I told them, custom back and no, what the video. So even to be the people one without proof. So we would not include anything that we could not prove. And COVID-19 was a to my to so to go back again to what the proof. When you care what a check, get what the video, get what it was not included. So some of you might be disappointed in being to get and be your they are there out there, but we don't have proof. So we could not go with hearsay through us out. So complaints, number one, there was lack of transparency in executing grant programs. With the very transparent, this is what we found out. We found out there was failure to implement grants as outlined in the proposals. Some things were not done right. And the reason why we organize a meeting, you have cancelled, and then cancelled, that venue has to be paid for. And even to be now, what I got up front, a grant get to take a web to been to get a there was some instances on the Akatega grant, taking what I get hours job, which was a problem. You quite took as you get grant to get a little yoga, Kiroko to me a worksheet, what hours on 14th in Akata, 15th in Akata. So that was something that was not taken care of. Home, a time I see okay, but then I tell Automayoka, you cannot do that. So state back, they will not be happy. So as a teacher was to account using a draft check, which is unusual for an organization of that big. Want to transact to me a draft cashier's check. All transactions should be made with a check. Thank you. So that was irregular. We found out that to be very irregular. Conflict of interest, which involved hiring family members to work on grants. That is, to honestly speaking, I know people can say, don't hire family members. I said, I'm not doing that. And I could give an example of Dr. Man give us a very good example during the meeting. A board, a school board, yeah, so attend nearby. I'm not sure his name. I got some stuff here was applied to school. His brother applied. Can I apply? I cover the Murusi little. But thank you, Murusi. I got just Murusi. I can have them room. I want to keep no. Thought Cassie could tell you to talk. It would by such a kind of person. Simply, leave family members out completely. Unless a doctor you got to where they see doctor negative, and is your cousin, who is your brother. Not that they are going to otherwise, I think it's good practice to leave family members out of this business because it paints a very bad picture. So, now they can take the problem here and they complaint here is single sourcing of supply contracts. I don't think each contract is going to charge and go back to Chabadota to say Mwanyagetinge. A contract you was nera, a contract you want to cake and to get the nera. So apply, to go get on the 17th Mochamoka interview to Remo Coil. Nothing like that happens about a single sourcing. But the young Ndochena Nyagetura. Nyagetu being your friend, was your relative. It's an accusation to failure to follow the constitution. There was a problem in your constitution. Quarterly reports have not been produced either with the team where you are with or they never did quarterly reports as the constitution says. Every 3 months you give a quarterly report. Never short, never 2 pages, never 1 page. Kitabia one, so I send it to Wells Fargo, 18,000. You didn't go to me this month, right? They have to come here to go with $3 to cover. That's what I say. People need to see those things. Be transparent. There was a failure to hire an executive director. Constitution, Article 10 says there shall be. That may be. There shall be an executive director. The team that were left and this one, they never hired the executive director. You guys know why. There's a reason why they didn't do it. Because if they do it, if they don't, but they would do his job. Executive director never run grants, never would deal the money, but the mayor does not touch money. There are people that work a mayor which are meeting once a month to body a budgeting a year. Can we approve it? They failed because it was benefiting them not to hire that person. Okay, I take a committee report here, 2020. Yeah, I got been to the record. No one implemented it. Yeah, to a dustbin. No one has ever looked at it. And the team were accused of high-handedness. Karawan the work you came online, delete. So that is another problem. Another issue, advisory council, we agreed with the team that left that because you could it was supposed to be handled by the advisory council. Advisory council should be the admin of those groups. But I what they can post meetings and everything to win, but they should not have control. And there's a code of conduct that President Wold did a very good job, by the way. She wrote that code of conduct, which is there. People have never looked at. There's a code of conduct. When the Kubuati war, Kirumunta called them Magaso, you know, Muskai. From the time to Gampener, was in Mingo, very Bakura, one was in Caston. To Gampener, which I said advisory council. If you are accused of writing something online, you come to the advisory council, we discuss, we call you, we tell you stop. If you will stop, we will remove you. Okay, findings. In accusations, what did we find? We found that there was a pattern of financial incompetence and circumventing laid down procedures and best practices to benefit the leadership. That is very true. For example, I'm giving you an example. And then with the two quantity, we did not get all the examples. We found a few, we highlighted a few in the two together because there will be. I didn't even to good, we didn't have proof. But you don't have a receipt. So on October 7th, 2023, which is a Ford Van Transit 1200 Pro Master. It was there a Ford. There was a complaint in Anjagan worth 200 bucks. We tried to investigate it. What we found, including a van of that kind, it can possibly carry 5,000 pounds or 100 bags of farina. They could hold 200. That question should go to whoever wrote the invoice. The invoice was sent by the supplier was Hope Food Distributors LLC, which is found in Osigo. The company was registered in the State Secretary of State. When we checked online, we found that the agent who is registered for the Hope Distributors, its registered agent is Frederick Morara. He's the one who supplied the food. So maybe he lied to the leadership or something happened. We don't know. But then first thing I think they thought they would put him never under some. Even they are not mine. They were investigated by the whole team. Some of us were tasked to write them. And the committee can be to make sure that they are right. So I did not put these things myself. This is a whole team effort. So just a few examples. Maybe I can give another example of supply, which is quite. This one is quite a little different too. An invoice dated December 28, 2023, for the supply of 450 bags of farina. A bag of farina will be 50 pounds. So they say down in Bloomington they supplied 450 bags of farina. The supplier is rolling with logistics. In O'Day Drive in Jordan, Minnesota, the registered agent is Godfrey Ugari Severio. But what we found out, if you look at Exhibit C, which you have on your phones, the supply they used a U-Haul to supply. The biggest U-Haul, the longest is 26 foot. It can carry 12,000 pounds. It can hold 12,000 pounds, which is almost 200 and something bags. So U-Haul Teyo, across within the United States, it have about 450 bags. There are also. There. So we doubt. It's true, but we doubt. From that we doubt whether they distributed. Unless we call it 2 rounds, 2 trips. Maybe. If it was 1 trip, then there's a question mark on that. Some other problems were the grants were not properly executed due to wrangles in the leadership. Some reports were not submitted on time because some of the roles, but the data reported, so they were running up and down to submit those reports. Those reports, if they're not submitted on time, the grantee will not give you another grant next time. While blacklisting anyone, you are lazy. So I thought some records were not done right. We told them that whoever did this job has to write time cycle. Otherwise, it's 30 years ago, just have a record. You will be, whoever gave you the grant, you will be in trouble if you don't do that. So basically, as Mwanyagetinge grant, I think that's what I saw. There's something I forgot to mention. The company that supplied their flour in Bloomington, something was very peculiar about that company. Rolling Wave Logistics was registered on December 27th, 2023. Ekamako invoice the next day, December 28th. Ekamako distributed was December 31st, which means they were awarded the tender to supply flour before they were even registered as a company. You go to write a contract, you got a company that registered. You go to write a contract, I come to register a company. We say it was in the process of registering the company. To me, it looks at the process of registering the company. If I check the tender, I can register the company. So that is a procedure. Come the tender, you always give somebody who quality or quality before. What a company, which a company should have at least existed for 6 months. At least 6 months. That you want to narrow the tender, you always supply a company. So that was peculiar. A contract allow us, but it's just a company there. But you can't invoice Mambi. The supply was 2 days later. That the question mark there. Yeah. I can't much work here. Conflict of interest. We found out that individuals related to the executive team from 2020 to present awarded single source tender contracts, but were related to the people on the board who were given contracts. And we were given checks that showed that one executive board member's relatives, including people very, very close to them, uncle, a mother, and aunt, were given contracts. The that's you could argue now we see, but it's odd. Try to be a good leader, try not to do those things. Just leave family out. That is a clear example of conflict of interest. If you give the conflict of interest in a kick, then they can understand it. Conflict of interest is when they ask you, do you know somebody, a friend of yours, working on this company? We ask, is there a family member? Is there a friend? Is there somebody you're related to? Is there somebody you've done business with? Whatever, no. Nobody. So which means when I think that the conflict of interest statement, we say we need one, which should include in a key. Your own children cannot supply things to Mwanyagetinge. Just tell them no. I know we're on it, but this one was said the best thing to do. During the time a contract awarded, recuse yourself. So recuse yourself and have minutes. That day you recused, you are out when they decided. Again, on the same conflict of interest, from the team from 2020 to present, the leadership executive board hired themselves to work on grants. For example, I could just say maybe the secretary, maybe the treasurer, maybe the president, maybe the vice president worked on the grant. There were checks to avoid the correct because they worked on the grant.